Welcome everyone to the Spider Talk news show. Once again, it is a Thursday evening and not a Tuesday. I'm thinking maybe I just push the streams to a Thursday because it seems stuff is either happening on Tuesday or nothing comes out until later in the week, right? So I'm thinking possibly we just push the streams to Thursday permanently. I'm thinking maybe. You guys will have to let me know. But either way, I'm just going to share the stream around before we get straight into it. We've got a lot to talk about today, including your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, a.k.a. Spider-Man Freshman Year. We've got Spider-Man 98 news. We've got Spider-Man 4 news. We've got Tom Holland. We've got Homecoming. We've got Kraven. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. If you're in the chat, if you're watching the stream, let me know how you're doing. I always love to hear from you guys. But yeah, it's we've got a juicy stream. I seem to say that every time, but we really do. We've really got some stuff. Hello, Scott. How are we doing? Hopefully you're okay. I'm just waiting for a few more people to get in here. Then we'll get straight to it. If you could share the stream around, that would be absolutely awesome. Also, for those of you who are watching afterwards, after the stream had finished and you're watching this back. Hi, Ahmed. How are we doing? I've actually got a brand new service on Fiverr, which essentially, if you are a content creator, a writer, if you are, a script writer, if you're someone who loves writing stories and you want some critical feedback, honest feedback from myself, I've got a Fiverr. I've got a Fiverr service where you can go down below in the description and you can get my services if you'd like me to review. I've got 3 stages of like tiers. Essentially, the cheapest one is just like basic feedback, but still very comprehensive, and the biggest one is like in detailed rewrites, AI, like generative, like to make sure it's not AI written or close to something AI's done. So obviously we know there's that big thing in Hollywood at the moment. People don't like AI, so we're gonna make sure nothing's similar to AI. Hi Ravenous Puncher, how are we doing? What's going on today? Hi Trev. I'm watching this from a restaurant, says Scott. Well, that's dedication, man. Hi Hector. By the way, I enjoy your videos, especially when you talk about Spider-Man comic books. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Trev, that I do appreciate that. Either way, I'm just gonna share the stream. We're streaming. So yeah, if you want me to give you some feedback on a script that you're writing or something like that, I'm more than happy to do so. Just click the link in the description down below to my Fiverr page. It's like $5 or for like the basic tier, so it's really not a lot at all. And if you really want my feedback, bear in mind, I've been doing this for a long time. But either way, if you value my opinion, it's there. If you want me to review, read, give feedback. Hi 24 Bricks, how are we doing? So yeah, we'll get into this, shall we? I'm still sharing the stream. I'm very slow at this today. Just give me 1 second. Just create post. Oh my god. I'm like a tech boomer. No matter how much I use tech, I'm not very good. Right, streaming. I'm posting on LewisFilms. There we go. Boom. I read Spider-Man recent issue from Spectacular Spider-Man. It's very good. Yeah, I just read that as well, actually. I'm going to be a video coming on Saturday on that, so we'll talk about that on Saturday. But either way, let's get straight into this then, shall we? So, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man has had some major updates. Again, it's really ironic because we actually talked about your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in Wednesday's video, which just came out. If you haven't checked that out, make sure to go check that out after the stream. Lewis, have you made your AI avatar? I haven't made an AI avatar. What were you talking about, Lewis, just before I joined? I was talking about my Fiverr thing. I've got like a new thing on Fiverr. Essentially, you can go down in the description below, click the link, and basically, there's 3 tiers, and you can go and pay for my services to read your writing, whatever creative writing, fan fiction, story, script, whatever it may be. It could even be poetry, really. I did that at university. I studied poetry at university as well, so there is that. I do know a thing or two, and I can review it, give you some feedback, and essentially just give you my knowledge on writing. Obviously, that's very subjective. You guys might think I'm not a very good writer, but I have been to university for it. I've been doing this for a long time, so I mean, it's up to you guys. It's your opinion, but anyway, let's get onto this. So, favorite Michael Jackson song? Oh my god. Okay, I don't know. Thriller, maybe? Hi, says Sloth. I really don't like the Spectacular Spider-Man run so far, says Ahmad. Yeah, I mean, it's really 50-50. Some people like it, some people don't like it. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is what the MCU Spider-Man should have been. It's like they realized they missed many core characters in Homecoming Trilogy, and they launch this show, which starts after Civil War. Yeah, I agree, actually, Ravenous Puncher. You think you hit the nail on the head, and we'll get into this as well, because Brad Winderbaum, I can never say his last name, Winderbaum, has actually basically talked about this. And talked about what the show is about, right? And he's talked about what the show is going to be, and the themes and the thematic elements in the show, and kind of what kind of Spider-Man we're going to be looking at. Because obviously, usually, MCU Spider-Man, we know what we're going to get. Andrews, we know what we're going to get. Every Spider-Man has their own kind of thematic vibe. Lewis, did you hear that Scorpion's going to have Venom first, and then Peter's going to get it when it dies? Yes, I heard about that. We're going to talk about that at the end of the stream, as you can see on the screen as well. Can you do a Spider-Man 98 continuation on your second channel, Sector? Yes, there is plans for it. Lewis, what are your thoughts on the updated Raimi suit from Spider-Man 2 PS5? It looks good. I'm so hyped for your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. It looks so good. Yeah, so here's what Brad Winderbaum had to say, and this is the big news that we've gotten this week. He says, and this is talking about basically the tease for it and what the show's going to be about. He says, it's Peter Parker back in high school just trying to make it work. Take care of his Aunt May, completely broke, and having to be a superhero. It's so essentially Spider-Man. And this is really promising. Now, one of the points I made in yesterday's video was that people... I'm a bit quiet, says 24 Bricks. Am I quiet? I've turned myself up as much as humanly possible. My mic's closer now. One of the things that we talked about in yesterday's video is that essentially... your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is going to be back in high school, and this is one of the things that you guys don't like about it. In fact, I'm actually gonna put a poll out. Do you guys want another high school Spider-Man project? Right. So this is a big question that we were talking about in yesterday's video. A lot of you guys said you didn't want a project in high school again from Spider-Man, which is what triggered my video from yesterday. Obviously, the poll that I put out. Hey, Cham, how we doing? Maybe it's just me. I think it might have been 24 Bricks. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man deals with money troubles. Now they get it. Exactly. So this is one of the things. People just don't want something in high school. So whether it was him dealing with the money troubles or not, people just didn't want this high school thing. People were saying, well, we'd rather have something adult. So Spider-Man 98 seems like it was going to be a good option, right? Continuing Spider-Man 98. They've proven they can do it with X-Men 97. I don't, but if it's a good adaptation, I'll watch it, says Ahmad. And I think that's it. What we've heard there is really promising. You couldn't get more Spider-Man if you tried. The only thing that's more Spider-Man, in my opinion, than that has managed to execute it really well, is Spectacular Spider-Man. Spectacular Spider-Man is the epitome of Spider-Man in high school, if you ask me. So when you look at it that way, it's kind of like, well, they're doing everything that we want. He's broke. This is what by the way, this is what we wanted from the MCU. We complained about these things from the MCU for so long. He's broke. He's just trying to be Spider-Man. He's going to be on his own. He's taking care of his Aunt May. And he's in high school just trying to balance his identity. This is everything we wanted, right? And based off the suits that are confirmed for the show as well, it looks like there's going to be some sort of identity crisis storyline too. So, I'm really excited for this show because it seems like everything we hear from it is, oh, this is so Spider-Man. And even Brad Winderbaum in his quote said, it's so essentially Spider-Man, right? So... do you think Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man should be a prequel to the 90s Spider-Man show just to explore further on Peter's high school days? No. I think if it's going to be a high school thing, it needs to be its own thing. The thing that concerns me the most is that Sidecast has a lot of randos. Now, I get why. I imagine they probably don't... I imagine because they're using a lot of the same thematic elements from Spectacular Spider-Man, for example, and they know that that's a fan favorite show, they probably don't just want to do a copy-paste, right? So it's broke. It's about him being broke, taking care of his aunt. Those are the two of the major themes in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, as Brad Winderbaum has confirmed. But also, they are two, arguably, of the biggest themes in Spectacular Spider-Man. Now, I know Spider-Man's Spider-Man, and you can't get around that, right? And these themes are always going to be present no matter what you do. But, like, we've proven that Toby Spider-Man... Andrew Spider-Man does something different. The MCU Spider-Man's doing something different. This is going to essentially be Spectacular Spider-Man in terms of a lot of its thematic elements, right? So, I imagine if you had Harry Osborn, you had Mary Jane Watson, Gwen Stacy, Flash Thompson, all the, like, I guess you could say core cast of Spider-Man, then I imagine it's going to be a Spectacular Spider-Man ripoff. And I imagine a lot of people don't want that. So I imagine they changed a lot of the side characters for that reason. Luckily, we are getting Harry Osborn back, which is something a lot of people wanted. We are getting Norman Osborn, which is something a lot of people wanted in the MCU and didn't get. So I think it's fixing a lot of the problems that we had in the MCU whilst also giving us something new at the same time, which is great. I like that. But yeah, I imagine that's why they've done that. I'm intrigued because I want to see Marvel Studios / Marvel Animation do their own take on an animated Spider-Man show. I agree. But I think Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man will be a mature show. It has Norman and Daredevil. Norman will try to exploit Peter's naivety. Daredevil's inclusion also suggests darker elements, says Ravenous Puncher. He's also voiced by Charlie Cox, which I think is very interesting. Dexterius says, I'm the type of guy to wait to get everyone's opinion before investing my time into the show. That's fair enough. I would love for them to make a Spider-Man show like from the Ultimate Spider-Man comic books. I would absolutely love this. And by the way, they almost did this, by the way. That was what the MTV show was meant to be. But then they didn't go through with it. Oh, the new Ultimate comic book. Okay, that'd be cool. So hyped for this series. As long as we get MJ in Season 2, I'm happy, says Ahmad. I love yeah, everyone loves the new Ultimate Spider-Man. I'd rather just Spectacular Season 3 or Spider-Man 98. Do you think Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man version of Peter Parker will appear in Beyond the Spider-Verse? I'm not sure. I imagine if they're going to include one, it'll be Tom Holland's version. They're basically the same character, right? So if they're going to go with one, it's going to be Tom Holland. Hot Take says 24 bricks. I love Spectacular Spider-Man. It's like Spectacular Spider-Man. I'm in for it. I imagine it's going to be very similar. Speaking of Harry, did you see Norman Osborn is going to be Giancarlo Esposito? I don't think that's confirmed, but that's a fan cast that a lot of people want. And I can see it, by the way. I can see it. Giancarlo Esposito for MCU Norman. I don't care how they do it. It says Ravenous Puncher. But either way, yeah, that's what we've got from Spider-Man freshman year. A.k.a. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. It's going to be really good by the sounds of it, right? It's going to be really good. And I'm really excited for it. So, with that said, I wonder, what do you guys think about this? Obviously, the poll has gone in favor of no. Do you guys want another high school? 70% said no. We had about a 60% yes before. But that's really interesting. So I'm going to just end it with then. Let's see. Are you excited for Spider-Man or Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man? I'm just going to put that. Right. Are you guys excited for it? That's the question. Right. That is the question. But yeah, it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good. It's looking very, very promising. I like the idea of Doctor Strange being in the show. Yeah, so Doctor Strange is also going to be in this show, which is really good. Cham says, I probably decide whether I like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man after the show's release, but as of right now, I'm sort of mixed on whether I'm hyped or not. That's fair enough. I think a lot of people are. I want Human Torch and Peter's friendship to be adapted in the MCU. I think everyone does. If a high school Spider-Man series can be mature, no more cringe jokes and lines like CEO of Sex. Oh, mate. Good old Ned, right? Okay, so let's move on then. So, Spider-Man 98 is not likely, according to producers. So, this also comes in tandem with what we heard with Spider-Man freshman year. So, obviously, head of Marvel Animation was asked if Spider-Man 98 is likely. And essentially, he said, he basically said, no, like, there's basically what's going to happen is we are going to continue doing the 90s stuff, but it's mainly going to be X-Men, right? Which says to me that they included that cameo of Peter and MJ in X-Men 97 to kind of give us some resolution to their story, because I don't think they're going to revisit it. And if they do, it's going to be very much down the line. So Spider-Man 98, I do not think it's going to happen. Adventures of Xavier, hello. Lewis, how did you rizz up Holly Peter with MJ Father Rome? I don't even really remember. It was like almost 5 years ago now. Is that half a decade? Jesus. Will Benedict Cumberbatch reprise his role? I don't think he will, Hector. I'm not too sure. Do you know when the new Spider-Man show will come out? It's late this year. I reckon it'll be about October, probably. That's my guess. But either way, yes. So Spider-Man 98 also isn't going to be happening, which is annoying. You know, I mean, a lot of people want it. I don't really need to do this poll, but just for your guys' entertainment and engagement, I'm going to do it anyway. And it'll be interesting to see if some of you say no. Do you guys want Spider-Man 98? And it'll be interesting to see if you guys say no. If you say no, if you do say no to this poll, by the way, let me know in the chat why. Right? I think Spider-Man 98 is kind of inevitable because it'll get views. Now, Ahmed, you make a very, very good point. But at the same time, I also disagree. Because, and there's one reason. Well, no, there's two reasons, really. Number one, if they were going to do Spider-Man 98, right? I don't think we would have had the MJ and Peter cameo at the end of X-Men 97. And the reason I say that is because I feel like that kind of seems like a resolution to the story that we all wanted to see, right? The resolution to the, oh, Peter's finally found MJ. Now, yes, of course, this could happen before Season 5 of Spider-Man, the 90s show. But really, I think they know what they're doing with that. You know, there's a lot of characters from the Spider-Man show. We had Felicia Hardy, Black Cat. You know, we've had Doctor Strange in that show. We had a bunch of other characters in that show, Daredevil. There were so many Marvel heroes and so many characters related to Spider-Man as well. They chose Peter and MJ as the two to show. I feel like it's too on the nose. I don't know. For me, it just seems like if they were going to actually do Spider-Man 98, they wouldn't have shown them because it kind of gives the resolution to us. You know, if the show happens before that moment, then there's no point because we know he succeeds. But if the show happens after, I don't know, that's a possibility. The second reason I have to why I don't think it will happen is because it would be in direct competition with Spider-Man Freshman Year. Now, many people tell me, oh, well, we'd just watch both. Yeah, you guys would. And I would. But we can't think for the general audiences. You guys could say all you want. Oh, we'd watch both Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and we'd watch Spider-Man 98. And people would be stupid not to. Okay. If you're fans of Spider-Man, which all of you are, right? If you're watching this video, if you're watching this stream, or if you're watching this back on video later, you are all fans of Spider-Man. You do not watch a weekly Spider-Man news talk show because you're a casual fan, right? Because you've watched a few of the movies. No. You're a Spider-Man fan, okay? Of course we're going to watch them. We're all going to watch them. I think we're all in the same boat there, right? We're all going to watch them. The casual, however, will not. They'll see one Spider-Man show. Well, they'll see two Spider-Man shows. They'll go, which one do I want to watch? Okay, I'll watch Freshman Year. They'll watch Freshman Year. They'll go, oh, there's another Spider-Man show I could watch. I've just watched Spider-Man. I'm going to go watch something different. I can't watch another Spider-Man show because I'm Spider-Man'd out. I don't want to watch two Spider-Man shows back to back. You got to think. General audiences think this way. My girlfriend, sorry, fiance. Oh my God. My fiance, my fiance is exactly like this, right? I can't show her, for example, the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield movies back to back. I can't. Because she'll be like, well, we've just watched Spider-Man. I don't want to watch more Spider-Man. I want to watch something else, right? Whereas us, we'd do a marathon of them all. We'd go straight from 2002 to 2021. All of them. All the movies, including the Spider-Verse ones, right? We would. But people like my fiance, who is a casual fan, will not do that. So, and the same will go for both the Spider-Man shows. The same will go for Freshman Year and Spider-Man 98. The majority of the audience for some of these shows will come from casual fans. There are more casual fans than there are hardcore. So if you present two Spider-Man shows to a casual fan, the likelihood is, now some of them will watch both, but the likelihood is if they've also got limited time, maybe they work a job that's quite, time consuming, they're going to watch one because they're going to want to spend some other time watching something else. They're going to want to watch two Spider-Man shows back to back. They would put them in direct competition with each other. That's why I don't think Spider-Man 98 is going to be made. So, yeah. And it'll be it won't be different enough, right? Because also, remember, Spider-Man Freshman Year is going to continue for multiple seasons. It's season 2 called Spider-Man Sophomore Year. Well, I don't know if it's going to be called Sophomore Year anymore. I don't know. But season 2 has been greenlit anyway. So, yeah. Anyway, I've got a lot of messages to go through. Morbius and Black Cat hooked up in 98. Oh my God. It's confirmed it took place after season 5. Either way, make it accessible to new fans. So it did take place after season 5. Well, there we go then. There's our answer. So the resolution is done. The resolution is done. So I don't think we'll get a season 6 or a Spider-Man 98. I just don't think we will. Yeah. It's unfortunate because I really would like one, right? I really would, and you guys would as well. I mean, 74% of you said yes, so yeah. Plus, Peter is in college. I don't know. He was a teenager from the beginning of my introduction as Spider-Man. Says Eddie. I can't. I've clicked on something and I can't get it off. There we go. People today don't have a lot of time. A movie or a series has to be a standalone, and people will pick one series at movie at a time. Exactly, right? Exactly. They're not going to watch 2 Spider-Man shows. Us Spidey fans, never. Yeah, that's why I love both Spider-Man 90 and Raimi Spider-Man, because Peter is in college. At least make Spider-Man 98 a comic book series. Plus, it wouldn't be the same with anime. If you watch action anime, you could say the same. Yeah, but they're diehard anime fans, right? The same way that we're diehard Spider-Man fans or diehard superhero fans. We will watch anything that Marvel and DC put out. Anime fans will watch anything that anime studios put out. It's sort of the same thing, right? So yeah, you got to think about it like that. So for the popular supervillains are Doc Ock, Rhino, and Scorpion. The rest we don't know. A wall show is what we really need. Congratulations. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Will Peter return as Spider-Man in Marvel Spider-Man 2's DLC and in Marvel Spider-Man 3? Will he be the main Spider-Man again? I'm not sure. I think he'll return in the DLC. I don't see why he wouldn't. It would suck, but I feel like they might cancel Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man after 1 to 2 seasons and then greenlight Spider-Man 98. Now, this is a good point. The possibility that Spider-Man 98 is made if freshman year is cancelled is 100%. Right? And I was saying this in my video as well. I think that they've shot themselves in the foot here. Because I think they're looking at this now going, damn, we should really make Spider-Man 98. I don't doubt in my mind 1 minute that Marvel wants to make Spider-Man 98. I think they'll have any excuse to make it. I really do. Because of the success of X-Men 97. However, because of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, like I mentioned, for the reasons I just mentioned, they can't really do that. However, if Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man flops, or they manage to bring it to a conclusion within 2 seasons, and they don't greenlight a 3rd season, Spider-Man 98 is 100% getting greenlit. Even if it's in 5 years, it's going to get greenlit, because X-Men 97 is definitely going to get a season 2. And if it gets a season 2 and it does well, it's definitely going to get a season 3. So we'll definitely see a Spider-Man 98. Very good point, Ahmad, and I very much agree with that. 90 Spider-Man can make a cameo like Spectacular did in Beyond the Spider-Verse. I can see why Andrew and Tom get lots of hate because Spider-Man versions are teenagers. X-Men 97 has now put out a lot of pressure on the next X-Men movie. If the live-action X-Men movie isn't up to the level of X-Men 97, fans are going to slaughter the live-action one. Absolutely. Ramdas Punch, a very, very, very good point. Oh, 24 bricks. Message retrieved. Oh, I was just going to read that. Let me know what you said, or if you want to say something. Do you know how to draw Spider-Man? I think I do. I've drawn Spider-Man a few times. 24 bricks said, I said no to the poll. I did watch Spider-Man when I was younger and are more familiar with MCU and Spectacular Spider-Man, says 24 bricks. Yeah, I get your point. I'm a diehard comic book reader as well, but recently I've stopped for a bit. Every week's tons and tons of comics come out and you can't keep up anymore. Well, that's a completely separate issue. And I think Hollywood in general is just kind of sort of having the same problem with movies. I don't know if you guys know that movie that Ryan Gosling was in, Fall Guy. Its budget was 140 million, and it was like 14 million off breaking even, which is really, really bad because that's not including the marketing budget as well. That's just the filming budget. So I think, and by the way, that was a really heavily marketed movie with Ryan Gosling, who is a really, really big Hollywood actor. So I think Hollywood is sort of going into the same sort of thing where fatigue is happening, and the only movies that are doing well are superhero movies at the moment. I just think it's a massive issue at the moment. I hate Ultimate Spider-Man TV show. It's so bad. I hope freshman year will be awesome. I think it's going to be the best Spider-Man show we've had in years, since Spectacular Spider-Man. I'm very, very sure of that. Spider-Man's my favorite superhero of the Marvel Universe, says Trev. It'd be a cool watch, Spider-Man 98, but I'd rather see Spectacular 3, Freshman Year, Spider-Verse 3, Tobey 4, Tom 4, Andrew 3, etc. So everything before it. It would be at the bottom of my list for whatever I want to see, says 24 Bricks. Did you hear the rumor that Spider-Man will be appearing in Deadpool 3? Well, apparently everyone's appearing in Deadpool 3, so yeah. X-Men already has 2 more seasons in the works. Since they're keeping that universe going for years to come, it just feels like they kind of cannot do a Spider-Man 98. Yeah, that's a good point. I think possibly they might do it after freshman year is done then. But then again, if freshman year does well, they won't stop freshman year. So it just depends on freshman year, really. Lewis, what topics are you on now? I joined late. I am actually on... We're still on freshman year, actually. We're still on freshman year. We've been having a very, very, very deep and discussing chat about freshman year. It's been a good chat, actually. Plus new animation from VA from what is a great sign of... no, it's not the Tom Holland VA. No, it's not. It's not the Tom Holland VA. Fall Guy was so good to 24 Breaks. Yeah, and it was getting good reviews as well, by the way. This movie was getting really good reviews. And it still flopped, right? That should just show you the absolute stinkiness of Hollywood at this moment in time. 2017 Ultimate sucks so bad. Lewis, which monster characters do you want at the college trilogy? Lizard, Iguana, Vermin, Man-Wolf, Puma, Morbius, Digger. I would really, really want... Vermin would be cool. Probably not Digger, Iguana, Man-Wolf. I don't know. They're kind of lower level. Maybe as like cameo villains. Puma would be cool. I really like Puma, by the way. I've got a soft spot for him for the game. The Spider-Man 2 the game. If you guys remember Puma in that game. Morbius would be pretty cool, but Sony aren't gonna let that happen. Yeah, probably Lizard or Vermin. Vermin would be pretty cool. Oh, there's my fiance in the chat, Holly Tweedy. Say hi to Holly. So yeah, fatigue is a big issue. What I notice is that indie movies, comics, games, and so on get more recognition because it does something different from the usual things we get from big companies. Absolutely. Does anyone know what kind of animation style will be the new Spider-Man show? It's going to be like, I reckon it's probably going to be very similar to Beyond the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse. I'm not too sure, though. No one's seen it, I don't think. Unless you've seen the special previews. Will Peter Parker return as Spider-Man in Marvel Spider... I believe so. Yes, he probably will. Do you think Venom should be in this show? I think he will eventually, if they do more seasons. Vermin would be really cool for the MCU's next trilogy, mostly because I want Kraven's Last Hunt adapted. Kurt could be his professor, though. Christ, we in for a long ride. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So we are... Are you going to rewatch all the previous X-Men movies to this? I don't think I will. I'm going to go see the movie, though. Would like Big Wheel, says Phoenix. Spider-Man 4 villain choices. Puma and Vermin in the next trilogy would be sick. Yeah, I'd love Vermin and Puma. That'd be amazing. Speaking of Iguana, do you remember Spider-Man Cinematic Universe Phase 2? I do. I'm getting to it. I really am. Lewis, I really want Fisk and Olivia Octavius as a couple in the MCU. I really want that Spider-Verse alliance in MCU. That would be cool. Are you going to watch Kraven? I am. I heard a rumor that freshman year will look more like What If. It was a while ago. Not sure if it's true or not. I don't think it will. The art style is going to be very different, but the animation style could be very similar. You got to remember, art style and animation are two different things. But either way, let's move on to Kraven the Hunter. Speaking of Kraven, very quickly, I'm not going to dwell too much on this because it's not that interesting. In fact, I'll put a poll out, actually, because you guys, I like you guys interacting with the polls. I love these polls. Ever since someone told me about the polls, I was like, yep, polls are for me. Are you going to go and see Kraven? That's a question. There you go. And if no, tell me why in the chat. So the Kraven news, it's not that big of a deal, but really, I just wanted to talk about it because it was something to talk about. Basically, the reason they delayed it was because it didn't have to face other R-rated movies. Now, this should tell you everything you need to know about Sony's confidence in this movie. It's going to be really bad, right? It's not going to be great, okay? So, this should tell you everything you need to know. Maybe if I hated myself, said Ahmad. Yeah, I'm going to go see it because I feel like I have an obligation to see it. But that's about it. You know, I'm like, I proclaim to be this Spider-Man fan. I really don't want to see this movie. What about the spot on Olivia, says SR Striker. I have no faith in Kraven, lol. I don't think anyone does. I just watched Madam Web. Why are the Parkers in there? It's pointless. I'm going to comment on this really, really quickly, by the way. This movie, Madam Web, was meant to be completely different, right? The Parkers were in there for a very specific reason. Because they were going to reintroduce the Peter Parker of their universe in that movie. And that was either going to be Tom Holland or Andrew Garfield by what things were looking like. both of them got scrapped, right? All the references got taken out, and we were left with that. Sonic is going to destroy Kraven, absolutely. Did you feel sad when Spider-Man 4 was cancelled back in 2010 by Sony? I actually did. I remember when it was cancelled. I remember the day. I remember the day it was cancelled. I was how old was I? I think I was 8 years old at the time. I was 8 years old, and I remember them cancelling it, and I remember a few months later them announcing The Amazing Spider-Man. I remember it, actually. It was a very sad day. I'm so old. Sony thinks Kraven is a Christmas movie. Who the hell's making the decisions there? I tell you what, half of us should go and just work there. In fact, all of us should, because we do a hell of a better job than what Sony Pictures are doing at the moment. Maybe I want to burn my eyes out, says Phoenix. Lol, can't wait for Sonic 3 to crush Kraven. Yeah, it's going to absolutely destroy it. It would be entertaining, and I'd really want to, the Rhino to be in the movie. Rhino is going to be in the movie, I'm pretty sure. No, because it only doesn't have Spidey. Not only is he not Russian, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't even have Chameleon. Got a super chat from my fiance, Holly Tweedy. I very much appreciate that. My hero, she says, I love you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Super chats always really help the channel. We do greatly appreciate them. Thank you very much. Yeah, really do appreciate that. If I watch this movie, will there be time where Sony made Kraven one of my least favorite Spider-Man? This is what I'm a nut, right? Speaking of Kraven, 71% of people said no. This is crazy, right? This is one thing I hate about Kraven. This is one thing I hate about Sony. Morbius is such a good character. Morbius is such a good character. Right? 24 Bricks, thank you for the super chat for the wedding and your holidays this summer. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. It's his first, 24 Bricks' his first super chat. So thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Thank you for the £2. I've put a love heart on it. You can actually like super chats now as well. So you guys give it a like. W for Holly and 24 Bricks in the chat. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. But anyway, what I was saying is essentially, right? Basically, Morbius is such a good character. Morbius is so good. From the comics, good character. From the 90s show, one of the best villains in the entire show. Gets absolutely destroyed by his movie. Absolutely rinsed in his movie. And now he's a meme. And everyone just sees him as a meme. People who don't realize that Morbius is actually a good character. Whose idea was this, right? And now they're going to do it to Kraven. Kraven is not only one of the best Spider-Man villains of all time, he's one of the best comic book villains of all time. Kraven's Last Hunt, one of the best comic books ever made. And they're going to absolutely rinse him. I'm only glad that people haven't absolutely destroyed Venom after. Luckily, the popularity and the knowledge of what Venom is kind of transcends some of the bad movies he's had. But Morbius didn't. And I don't think Kraven does either. If Kraven ends up being a meme, it's over. It's over. Kraven is done for. And we will never see him as in a movie again. Or at least a solo movie. So, yeah. I agree. Morbius had so much potential as a character. Exactly. Phoenix says, I don't know, Lewis. All signs point to Andrew Spider-Man. The house they were. And the fact that we see Mary. We only saw her in Wretched in the Tarzan movies. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was definitely on his way to be the Spider-Man of the Sonyverse before that got canned. Whose idea was it to have Kick-Ass as Kraven? This is Jay. That's funny. Yeah, but it was the early rumors back then. They did the same for Dark Knight Rises. Morbius got done so dirty. Absolutely. I thought it was good, said Trev. Do you like Monster Kraven in Spectacular? No, actually. This is one of the things I'm not a fan of in Spectacular Spider-Man. I'm not that big of a fan of it. Will Marvel revive other Marvel shows from 2000s and 2010s? I think they'll revive the Hulk show potentially in some form. I reckon they'll do something with the Fantastic Four, and I reckon they might end up doing something with Iron Man as well. We got Insomniac Kraven in people's recent memory, so he might be good. Yeah, well, that's a good thing, actually. You make a good point. Thank God Kraven was in Spider-Man 2 last year, because if he wasn't, his movie would have drowned his enemies. Yeah, you guys make good points. Very good points. That is very, very true. Luckily, we've had a mainstream PlayStation 5 game that has sort of done Kraven justice, right? Yeah, so luckily he's not going to be a meme. Man Spider, because Mutation Saga is the best season. Speaking of Kraven in Spider-Man 2 game, his army is like that hard target that Sam Raimi was involved in. I still remember Morbius for what he was in the 90s cartoon and the Ultimate Comics. Me too. Me too, Jay. So, yeah. Let's move on then, shall we? To disappointing Homecoming box office numbers. Now, I don't know, obviously, where you guys live in the world. If I did, that'd be quite creepy, but... Would you... Lewis, you're not... No. You're not good with words. Obviously, I don't know what region you guys are from, but if Spider-Man Homecoming has come out in your region, have you gone and seen it? And if you haven't, and when it does come out in your region, are you going to see it? Are you going to go rewatch Spider-Man Homecoming in theaters? Because in the US, there's this whole debate on Twitter. If you're on Spider-Man Twitter, you'll know there's a massive argument going on about whether the MCU Spider-Man sucks or not, because... It has disappointing box office numbers. It is the lowest grossing Spider-Man movie on open day out of the last 5, right? So here's the box office numbers top to bottom. Spider-Man 2 with 809,000, Spider-Man 3 with 760,000, Spider-Man 1 683,000, The Amazing Spider-Man with 511,000, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with 500,000, Spider-Man Homecoming with 285,000. So it's almost half of what The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was, right? So at first, it looks like people don't really care about Tom's Spider-Man compared to Andrew's or Tobey's. But I have an argument against this. So people think, oh, this means Tom sucks. No one wants to go see him. The issue we have here is that Tom's Spider-Man is the latest Spider-Man, right? He is the latest Spider-Man in the line of Spider-Man that we've got. So this tells me that, obviously, because he's the current Spider-Man, and he's the Spider-Man that we've had the most, people aren't as inclined to go see him. Whereas Andrew and Tobey, people are longing, gagging for more content of Andrew and Tobey, right? So I reckon people have gone to see them films, but they're not going to go and see Tom's because Tom's just came out. Now, someone made the point to me that, oh, well, Tom's first movie and Andrew's second movie came out 3 years apart, so it can't be that big of a difference, right? But it can, because Tom is still getting a fourth movie. He's just had his third movie. He's in all the MCU movies. He's going to appear in Kang Dynasty. He's probably going to appear in Secret Wars. He's probably going to have another trilogy. People want Tobey and Andrew because they long for a fourth Tobey film. They long for a third Andrew film. We'll all go and watch Tom's fourth no matter what. Everyone's going to go see it no matter what. Sony should know this. But yeah. I love Homecoming, but way more than both Taz and films, but it seems to be my most forgettable Spider-Man movie, says Romantic Avocado. Cham says, too bad the films weren't released in SA. I'm assuming that means South Africa. That is too bad if they weren't. I mean, I hope you get the films at some point. Or South America. South Africa? South America? SA could mean two different things. Or it could be a state. I don't know. I'm not very good at geography, as you guys probably know by now. Don't get me wrong. I like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but I'm not going to watch it. I can watch it on Disney+. Which is also another good point, Trev, right? People aren't going to go out of their way to watch this in the theater because they can watch it on Disney+. TASM 2 story was a mess, but TASM 1 is really underrated. I agree. Funny how you asked that. I've just rewatched Homecoming on BBC One last night. Oh, BBC One! Come on, BBC. That's it. Hot take, but TASM 1 is my favourite Marvel film. Why would you go to the movie theaters if I could watch on Disney? Yeah, everyone's got the same opinion. I don't blame Tom, I blame the writers. Maybe because of the Iron Boy Jr. thing. I don't know where you guys live. It says 21 Bricks. Lewis, I know where you live. Manchester. Yes, I live in Manchester. Well, I tell people I live in Manchester. People don't actually know where I live. It's like near Manchester, but no one knows where that is. So if you're like global, international, everyone's like, where do you live? I'm like, Manchester. Then everyone's like, ah, Manchester. So north of England. Yeah, there you go. Was he even good acting besides Spider-Man franchise? I think he is. I think Tom Holland's a brilliant actor. I'm going to go see him in London in a few months, which is going to be good. If they bring Tobey back in a Raimi film, I believe it should be about Spider-Girl. I agree. I very much agree. Spot on. I agree. Far From Home was a victim. Will 1977 Spider-Man played by Nicholas Hammond appear in Beyond the Spider-Verse? I expect him to. Homecoming, Far From Home, says Ravenous Puncher. Well, we all know the Spider-Man movies are on Disney Plus now. Yeah, everyone's got the same opinion. They're on Disney Plus, which is something I never actually considered, but it further backs up the point that Who's going to go see them when they're on Disney Plus? Jay says, I never understood the hate for The Amazing Spider-Man 1. I didn't really either. But either way, if you're just new here, we have talked about Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man already. We are now moving on to Tom Holland discussing the future of Spider-Man to Sony chairman. Now, Tom Holland, as I mentioned, is in London and will be in London until the 3rd week of July. And that's because he is currently on Broadway doing Romeo and Juliet. And that's a live theatre performance. He's currently doing it in London, in West End, which is really exciting. I've got tickets to go. I'm so excited. I'm going to let you guys know how it is when I go. It's going to be amazing, right? I can't believe I'm going to see Tom Holland in real life. It's going to be amazing. But either way, he's there, right? He's in London. He's doing it. He's recently had a meeting in London just the other day with Tom Rothman. Now, if you don't know who Tom Rothman is, essentially, he is the head chairman of Sony Pictures, which means this was likely, if it isn't about some other film franchise, maybe Uncharted, I guess, it's going to be about Spider-Man, right? Which is interesting because that means that they are talking Spider-Man 4. They've just had a meeting about Spider-Man 4, probably the script, maybe it's contract negotiations for more films. Who knows? But either way, that's really exciting news because it means we're well on the way to getting into pre-production, getting into actual production. It's going to be exciting, right? I'm really, really excited. But let me know. I'm going to do another poll actually here. 72% aren't going to rewatch Spider-Man Homecoming, which is kind of crazy. Let's see. So do you think, and this actually going on to the next thing, I'm actually, before I do the next poll, for those of you guys in the chat right now, I'm going to do a poll. You guys are going to vote on it, and you guys let me know why you voted on it, right? So Spider-Man 4 filming dates have been confirmed. Question mark? Possibly. By Daniel RPK says, essentially, they are aiming to start filming Spider-Man 4 at the end of this year, which tells me two things. Number one, it's a Christmas movie, and number two, they are planning to release it in late 2025, just as was rumored a few years ago. Oh my god, it's all coming together, isn't it, right? So with that, do you think they will release Spider-Man 4 in 2025? Or do you think it'll be 2026? Actually, in fact, I'm going to do it differently. When do you think they will release Spider-Man 4? Is it 2025? Or is it 2026? And I'm not putting 2024 because that would be insane. But yes. Lewis, can we, as members, can we get out of cinema reactions after you see Spider-Man films in cinemas in the UK this August? Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to one with Connor as well. So you'll get a Connor feature as well at one point. As the members will know, my first initial reaction to Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I was with Connor at that point. You'll get one for Deadpool as well. Deadpool and Wolverine, which will be good. Who would you want the villain in Spider-Man 4 to be? Probably Scorpion. Please have Kingpin and Daredevil in the next film. Says Jay, I would have gone to see all the re-release in theaters, but my city isn't showing because screw the select theaters. The closest city is basically Gotham, so that's a no. Daniel RPK hasn't been reliable for a while now. He's gotten a few things wrong, but I generally, obviously you have to take what leakers say with a pinch of salt anyway. You always have to. But Daniel RPK has been around for a while, and generally when it comes to Spider-Man stuff, he usually gets it right. Like all the No Way Home stuff back in the day, he got a bunch of stuff right then and before then. So when it comes to Spider-Man stuff, I'm usually more like, oh yeah, Daniel RPK has said this. Like, we can. The one that I always trust more than ever is usually Alex Perez. Now, you still do have to take what he says with a grain of salt, but when Alex Perez says something in conjunction with what other leakers have said, it's usually like basically true, right? But then, yes, you are right. Take it with a grain of salt. Daniel RPK has been wrong about a few things, but when it comes to Spider-Man, he has sort of got a good track record. But either way, well, it's easy to get No Way Home leaks. Yeah, well, I guess so. I guess you're right there. But either way, let's move on to what the major character news is for Spider-Man 4. So as we mentioned earlier, I think it was Ravenous Puncher mentioned it earlier. Someone mentioned it. It was essentially, this has been, this is like a collaborative effort from the leakers, by the way. They all got in on this. So it was Daniel RPK mentioned it. Alex Perez mentioned it, which we just talked about. And Cryptic HD quality. All these three leakers got in this and basically said the same thing. They all teased that Spider-Man apparently is going to die at the end of Spider-Man 4, right? This should come to no surprise to anyone because he's died before, but maybe it does come as a surprise because no one thought he'd die in Spider-Man 4. But either way, Spider-Man 4, he's gonna die. Do you do pre-writes? If so, can you do a Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and Spider-Man 98? I do. It's on my channel, LewisFiction, which you can subscribe to. This is what the channel icon looks like. Yes, I'm doing both at some point. So yeah. Apparently he dies. Okay. So, here's the catch. Then Daniel RPK came out and said, essentially, the symbiote is going to be appearing in the film. Right? Okay. So hear me out. Daniel RPK then says the symbiote is going to appear in the film. It's going to have a major role, right? And then what happened was everyone kind of agreed on the fact that the symbiote was going to be the reason that Peter is brought back to life at the end of the film. Which means either that's going to lead into an Avengers movie where he has the symbiote, or it's going to lead into Spider-Man 5 directly where he is going to have the symbiote as well. So this is interesting to say the least. It looks like... I mean, the thing is, I always say take what leakers say with a pinch of salt. But the thing is, when it comes to leakers, if more than one of them says the same thing, that means they're getting it from the same source, which most likely means that it's true. Now, things ebb and flow in Hollywood, and things change, and things get rewritten, and things... I understand that, right? So it could very much show that doesn't happen, and the ending could be changed. But if nothing changes from now until the film comes out, that more than likely is the ending. Because all of these guys have got the same story. That is literally just Spider-Man 2, says Ahmad. Yeah. And it's crazy, right? That's literally what happens in Spider-Man 2. Peter pretty much dies, gets a symbiote and comes back. But it looks like, at the moment, that is the current ending to Spider-Man 4. Now, I reckon it will get changed, because I reckon they'll either see the reaction online, or they'll think of something different. Maybe something for an Avengers movie will change, or maybe something in Spider-Man 5 will change. It could change. It very likely will. Endings always change in Hollywood. All the time. But it's interesting that that's even being considered. So it's inspired by Spider-Man 2, says Jay. Yes, it is. They are pulling the same thing from Marvel Spider-Man. So everyone's saying Marvel Spider-Man 2, yeah. Same thing happened in Marvel Spider-Man 2. Kraven stabbed Peter, got the suit. Exactly, right? It'd just be Spider-Man 2 all over again where Pete died and the symbiote revived. Exactly. It's basically Spider-Man 2. This is what all these leakers are saying now. And what they're saying it in conjunction with each other. They're all kind of backing up the same leaks by leaking something. Like, it's crazy. They're all kind of feeding into each other. Which, when they do, you kind of start there like, this is probably true. We're getting it from multiple sources. I mean, if it's one, then you could maybe be like, maybe not. If it's multiple sources, you're like, well then, they must be getting it from somewhere. Unless they've all just in cahooted said, hey guys, you know what we should do? We should pull the funniest thing ever. And then just convince everyone that Spider-Man's going to die. They can't kill Spider-Man as he's got a college trilogy to go through. I don't know. No, he won't die. Like, the symbiote will bring him back. But yeah, no. I'm going to put out another poll, actually. 52% think. So it's pretty much 50-50. Do you think Spider-Man dying is a good ending to SM4? This will be interesting. Oh, can't wait to hear the MCU Spider-Man nerf arguments as Phoenix. But yeah, that's the that's kind of what we're dealing with here. But either way, I mean, that's pretty much it for the news. But let's keep talking. If you got any more questions, let me know. Bro, why would Peter die in Spider-Man 4? Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what story they got lined up. But anyway, yeah. If you're new around here, make sure to subscribe, obviously. Yeah, I want to let you guys know as well, if you are a writer, you're writing something like a book, a novel, a script, creative writing, a poem, it could be even, I don't even know, fan fiction. And if you want feedback from myself, make sure to click the link down below. I've started up a new service, essentially where you can get my feedback in-depth feedback from me, myself, and yeah. And if you want feedback on your story, make sure to click the link in the description down below. I think Sony knows MCU Spider-Man will be in Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty, so they want him to die in Spider-Man 4. Spider-Man dies in Spider-Man 4 and gets revived by the symbiote, says Robin. Did you hear the rumor saying that the spell that made everyone forget Peter affected the lives of Toby and Andrew's Peters as well? I haven't seen that rumor, actually. Who said that one? Someone get Sony out of the kitchen. There! They are burning the kitchen! I'm writing a book, says Adventures of Xavier. Well, if you'd like my feedback, click the link in the description. And I give you basically feedback and you know, I tell you what's good, what's not, like, sort of thing. In conjunction to what I know about creative writing objectively, the thematics, you know, the history that I know, what I studied in university, essentially just putting my degree to its use, because God knows I haven't used it yet, and I need to use it somewhere, because I've gone through 3 years and debt to my country for nothing. I need to use it somewhere. Will you watch Deadpool 3? Yes, I will. Guys, isn't that the arc from Kraven's Last Hunt? Because I heard that. Well, kinda, not really. It's more similar to Marvel Spider-Man 2. I'm writing a fan fiction on if Kraven could survive Spider-Man PS4. That's interesting. That's a very, very interesting fan fiction. I would actually really like to read that. You heard that too. So, yeah, so we're all in agreement then. This is not a very good ending, right? This is not a very good ending. So, yeah. Spider-Man 4 is going to be an interesting movie, though. I very much do think so. I think it'd be cool to introduce Frederick Myers Boomerang as a supporting character in Spider-Man 4, or even Clayton Cole as Clash. What would be good? What would be good is that, that'd be pretty cool, actually, because that'd be very similar to Nick Spencer's run on Spider-Man. Obviously, Frederick Myers was Peter's roommate in Nick Spencer's run, which was pretty cool. It provided an interesting dynamic. Kraven's Last Hunt doesn't even feature the symbiote, says Ahmad. No, it doesn't. It's just a cloth symbiote. A cloth suit. I love the reason as to why they gave Peter the symbiote suit back, by the way. Like the cloth version. They were like, oh yeah, it looks cool. Really? They couldn't be bothered to draw the lines. Come on, man. Will Deadpool 3... Is that actually the reason, by the way? I heard that was the reason. Someone in the chat will know. Is that the reason? I think that's the reason. It's funny. I heard that, so that'd be really funny if it was. Will Deadpool 3 be a multiversal film? Will there be here? Yes, it will be. Do you think Sony should give up the Spider-Man rights? Probably at this point. I mean, the only good thing they're doing is the Spider-Verse movies. I meant Spider-Man dying part. Oh, yeah. I don't know. The rumor is that he dies. It's not. I don't think there's anything specific. But either way, to move back, Lewis Fiction just dropped. Yeah, Lewis Fiction did just drop, actually. I was meant to end the stream before it dropped so you guys can go watch it. Damn it, no, I forgot about this. I forgot Lewis Fiction was dropping. Either way, I like how someone just reminded me about my own video. Flaming Phoenix reminded me that I posted the video. No. So, moving back to freshman year. Yeah, so freshman year is going to be good. Let's just round up. So, freshman year is going to be good from what we've... Bro, forgot. I did forget. I forgot, man. From what we've heard, freshman year is going to be really good. Spider-Man 98 is likely not going to be happening because of Spider-Man freshman year itself. Kraven's delayed because it doesn't want to compete with other movies. Spider-Man Homecoming has disappointing box office numbers, which I think people are arguing about. And Tom Holland is discussing the future of Spider-Man with Sony chairman, probably because Tom Rothman was in London and had a meeting with Tom Holland. The filming dates possibly have been confirmed for Spider-Man 4 based on recent rumors that the filming is going to start later this year at Christmas time. And Spider-Man 4 has major character news, including symbiote, and apparently that Peter is going to die. So, there we go. That's all your news for today. It's been a very, very good stream. My Time to Shine Hello says that the spell dot strain used to make everyone forget Peter also crossed into other universes. I didn't pick up on this. I do follow My Time to Shine Hello. Okay, wow. I missed something. So, guys, new news for Spider-Man 4. Apparently, the spell also affected Andrew and Toby's universes, according to My Time to Shine Hello. And we have covered him on the channel before. Wheato says, what I think would be cool is if we build up a friendship between Spider-Man and Eddie. He becomes Venom, and Venom forgives Peter, saving him from the Sinister Six. That would be a pretty cool story. It just depends how they do it, you know. You have to be very... You have to be very careful with redemption arcs because they can kind of undercut the story that came before it if you don't do it properly and don't give it enough tender care and connection between the characters. Lewis, did you know that all Spider-Man actors dated each other? Apparently, They all broke it. K&T lasted for 2 years. Who's K&T? Is that Kirsten and Toby? Yeah, they all did. So Kirsten Dunst and Tobey Maguire. Obviously, Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone was dating as well. And obviously Zendaya and Tom Holland. My Time to Shine Hello was reliable before she got hired from whatever job she had at Marvel. Wait, it's a she? Oh, I've been saying he this whole time. I'm so sorry. My Time to Shine Hello is a she. I'm sorry. I don't follow any of the other posts apart from the leaked ones. Oh, damn it. I feel bad now. A she. Sorry. She is we have covered her on the channel before. I hope Avengers Secret Wars won't be directed by Sam Raimi because the original end of Spider-Man 3 is so dark. A&E lasted for 5 years and TNZ lasted up to this point. I honestly love how Ultimate Spider-Man had more of a connection to Marvel Universe, and I also love how some heroes are included in his supporting cast, which is something I wish 616 Peter did. Very true. Very true. So yeah. That's pretty much all the news we've got for you today. It's been an interesting week, and I think with what we've had with Spider-Man 4 and freshman year, I think this week, I think there'll definitely be some more Spider-Man 4 news definitely next week. So definitely tune in Thursday, 7 p.m. UK time. If you're in the US, it's around 1 to 3 p.m. in the afternoon is when we're usually live. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to be seeing more Spider-Man 4 news. I also think we're definitely going to be seeing more freshman year news soon. Considering it's coming out late 2024, which suggests to me it's around October, November time, I think a trailer will be coming this summer. So I do expect some freshman year news very, very soon. It could be any week now. It could be in a few months. We might get some more stuff on Spider-Man 98 as the X-Men 97 hype dies down. So there's a bunch of stuff that could potentially be happening next week. So make sure to tune in next Thursday for another live stream. It's been a really, really good live stream again. I absolutely adore you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much. Once again, I also want to plug my my Fiverr service, which I've talked about all stream. Essentially, if you are a creative writer, you're writing a novel, you're writing a book, you're writing a fan fiction, you're writing a poem even, it doesn't even matter, you're writing whatever, right? And you want some feedback, you want some critical feedback from someone who I'm gonna be honest, right? Who knows what they're talking about, right? Okay, I went to university, got my degree in creative writing, and film, and I've been doing this for a long time. If you want my feedback, you can get it in the description down below, and obviously join my service, and now just starting from $5, and yeah. Hopefully you guys are interested. It's 3 stages, and yeah, go check it out. Just go give it a look. Even if you haven't planned on, maybe just go give it a look. Maybe just go give it a look. But either way, thank you very much for watching. I always do appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you very much to the members as always. We had 24 Bricks and Ramdas Puncher in here today. And it'll be November freshman year because of the Agatha show not colliding with it. Yeah, 24 Bricks makes a very good point. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys on Saturday for the video. Take care and peace.